Now, also joining us from Ukraine's capital is Mykhailo Samus. He's the director of the think tank New Geopolitics Research Network. He also served for 12 years in the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Appreciate your time on this news hour. On Sunday, we saw that President Zelensky spoke to 3 world leaders in just one day, and he said that there would be some important development over the next week. What do you think that some of those developments may be?
Hello. It could be several developments. Actually, Zelensky told that he proposed to organize some globe peace event or summit. The Ukraine proposed so-called Kiev Security Compact, and maybe it will be development on this way. As well, it could be some news on the Ukrainian support by United States and in other countries with new weapons like Patriots, because as we see the situation for Ukraine, a new missile defense is a crucial importance, and we are looking for get new systems like Patriots to create several echelons of missile defense, because unfortunately now we've got only middle range missile and air defense. It's not enough, as you see that Russians continue to attack civilian infrastructure in Ukraine.
And Mykhailo, you are someone who's had more than a decade worth of military experience. So when it comes to Ukraine's forces and winter getting worse in the country, how is that going to impact the fight on the ground?
In reality, it's a paradox, but Ukrainian forces now is waiting for a little bit temperature below zero. I mean that the soil should be harder to allow the heavy armor vehicles go forward, because now we have a rainy season. I mean, in Donbass now we had a little bit of frost, but now it looks like it will be a little bit above zero, and rain. It means that not very good soil and mud will be for tanks and armor vehicles, and it will be obstacle for very fast operations with Ukraine conducting. If you look at the previous attack and offensive operations in the south on Kherson and Kharkiv Oblast, it was very fast operations, and I think Ukrainian forces waiting for it's a paradoxically, but waiting for a frost to continue offensive operations.
And Mykhailo, I just want to touch on the role and the support of NATO and EU members since this war started in February. You've actually written that these two groups should take on a more substantial role in the transformation process of the post-Soviet space and the Western Balkans. And because this hasn't happened, Russia has then exploited the political vacuum that was created. Just talk us through why you believe this and how it's now fed into what we're seeing playing out in Ukraine and the region.
Yeah, the NATO in European Union, of course, they played a absolutely substantial role, and of course, I would say that NATO and EU allies support now playing existential role for Ukraine. I could say that, of course, NATO as organization just trying to be a little bit aside of the conflict and trying to be, I would say, even neutral on the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. But the member states, especially United States, Turkey, Poland, and other countries, they trying to give Ukraine what they can do, because unfortunately for last 30 years, European countries, they were prepared for peace, but not for war. And this is the main problem for our entire European continent now, that we didn't expect that we could meet in 21st century real conventional war, kind of Second World War. And now it's a problem for all of European armed forces to adapt to a new situation.
Mykhailo Samus, live there to us from Kyiv. Really appreciate your analysis and your perspective. Thank you so much.